Hello, and welcome to the Community IT Innovators Technology Topics Podcast, where we discuss nonprofit technology, cybersecurity, tech project implementation, strategic planning, and nonprofit IT careers. Find us at communityit.com.
Welcome to the Community IT Voices interview series. My name is Carolyn Woodard, and today I am interviewing Saba Gebru about her job at Community IT. So, Saba, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you, Caroline. My name is Saba Gebru. I am the Director of Service Operation here at Community IT.
What are your responsibilities? And when people ask you, what do you do, what do you say?
My responsibilities are mainly focused in service delivery and, any request that comes in terms of technical work, whether it's incident or emergency, making sure those incidents or requests are addressed in a timely fashion, and also services are restored as quick as possible. I think that's one area of my responsibility. The other area is I'm responsible also for staff development, mentoring, coaching, and making sure that staff have what they need to provide the services that we deliver to our clients. And the last is, also work in continual service improvement, always looking for better ways to deliver service, do efficiently. So that's another area of my responsibility. When people ask me what do I do at Community IT, I say that I help nonprofit organizations meet their mission by providing technology support, and as well as helping them in planning their IT infrastructure or cloud, whatever they.
So when you say services delivery, are you involved with the help desk, or how is it different from the people who are on the help desk?
So when I say service delivery, basically the help desk, the advanced engineering team, we have the on-site team. These are the team that I work with, and I oversee this team, and basically it's involved directly with providing direct service to our clients, whether it's the computer's not working or Outlook might not be working, something is broken and that we have to fix it, and we need to restore service as quick as possible. So that's mainly so that's what I mean by when I say service delivery.
So on a typical day, what are the sorts of things that you do? Do you have a lot of meetings with all of the different teams?
So honestly, a typical day. So we serve, as you know, more than 100 clients, and there is, the days are completely different, but in some ways also there are some similarity. But a typical day for me would be, starting my day with an advanced engineering team, looking at what are the escalations we have, and working with a team to help in prioritizing and providing some guidance as far as next step. It could also be like we get a planned meeting, because talking about emergency things and how do we handle this emergency. And as you say, also there are meetings that I with my team, and also part of the senior leadership here at Community IT. So we have meetings, and I also talk to clients. I have clients too, and I talk to clients. That would be my typical day.
What would you say are the best things about your job? Like, what do you enjoy about your job at Community IT?
So the best thing about my job at Community IT is that I would say there are a few things for our clients and the culture at Community IT and the people I work with. So when I say our client, it's, I find it rewarding to work with a variety of nonprofit organizations to help them, meet their need in terms of technology so that they can go out in the communities they serve to make this world a better place. So I think that's one. And here, we have great people. As you know, there are a lot of people come from different places, different background, and listening to everyone's story, learning about a person's experience. It's just, I think it's full of different culture, and I find that really fascinating to just learn about my colleagues and where they come from. The last one is my team. I have a wonderful team, honestly, smart. They do care about what they do. And these are the best thing about my job. And, I am grateful, especially for my team, for what they do at Community IT and also for our clients that we serve.
I think maybe technology jobs have a lot of stereotypes around them of what being involved in, like, oh, you work on computers. Is there something about your job at Community IT that most people probably don't know that you'd like people to know more about?
So when I first came to Community IT, I had many clients. I used to go on site, provide hands-on technical support. So from there, my role had evolved and became an engineer and then project engineer and then service desk manager and then on the director of service operation. Throughout my journey, I kept few clients. And when in the beginning, I was providing technical support, hands-on support, but then throughout I provide to the same clients just IT planning, budgeting, consulting, helping them determine what's the next move in terms of technology. Should they be moving to the cloud? What cloud should they be moving to? So I think my main responsibility is around service delivery. I also enjoy building relationship with clients and keeping that relationship. So that's what I would say. I have clients that I've been supporting for probably as long as I've been with community.
I think that's very interesting too. I think maybe when people think about technical support, they don't think about long-term relationships where you have this ongoing, it is like a relationship with a client, and you're thinking about their needs, their business needs, their planning, their strategy around using technology. So that's interesting, different piece of the job, I think. Do you remember when you applied to Community IT and how long you've been at Community IT, and what was it that made you, want to have a job with Community IT?
That was an interesting question. So I came to Community IT in 2007. So I would say it's about almost 15 years. In terms of why, I was working at in downtown Arlington, and my previous job was a client of Community IT, and we had an assigned. I'm not sure if it was assigned, but a tech at that time used to come to to my job and would help in technology or the issues that we used to have. And I was always intrigued with this person. Come in, does a thing quietly, lead quietly, very, had a very, calm personality and humble and efficient. I'm like, So it also was not, would share the knowledge without any hesitation. Here's what happened, and this is it, how it's fixed. And this is the next step. In case this happened, this is what I need to do. So I learned a lot from Johan, who was the tech person at my previous job, and now he's our CEO, and you can imagine. So I really, really appreciated his calm demeanor, and I learned a lot from him. And I applied community IT because I was inspired, and I knew that they work with nonprofits, and nonprofit is my passion. And the rest is history. I was hired, and here we are.
So the last question was about you. Like, why did you feel that you wanted to be at Community IT? But now that you're in more management, leadership, and managing a team, can you talk a little bit about maybe what Community IT saw in you? Like, what are the qualities and characteristics that make a good employee? You already talked about being calm and sharing knowledge, being transparent. Are there any other qualities that you look for when you're thinking about new employees that you'd like to hire?
Yeah, those those are good comments you made. And in terms of quality, when you work with technology, you also work with people. And the technical skill, I think it's required, it's good. You can learn, you can grow, but we also have to have the, like you mentioned, the calm being, friendly, and having an empathy, and, being, especially in the nonprofit world, having a connection to the mission, right? You have compassion. This is a mission of the work the nonprofits do. I think that goes a long way, and that's what those are the qualities I would think that are important.
So you said that nonprofits were your passion, and a lot of the people that we recruit to Community IT are really interested in nonprofits and helping nonprofits. But if you were talking to someone in high school or maybe college who was thinking about this kind of a career, so technology with nonprofits, are there any technology qualifications that you would advise them to start getting? Or, what are the technology, what's the technology path to do the sort of job that you do?
So, yes, if someone is, looking into enter the IT world and then providing support, there are certain paths they can follow. I think in general, the technical would be in, looking into certification, for example. What kind of certification do I need, especially for entry level? And there are certifications just for the entry level that you can work with. If, for example, there's CompTI that only focus on the networking. They're just a fundamental of general IT that gives you the foundation. Also, and along that is Windows operating system. There are certification from Microsoft. I believe it's called Modern Desktop, specifically for desktops. That is also important. The foundation about networking and the operating system. Nowadays, also there are lots of Mac in the environment, or people use Mac for business. So Apple also has its certification called Mac OS Essential. I believe they changed it something to device support or something like that. But I think it used to be called Mac OS Essential. So those are the three things that are important to just start, have the foundation and understanding of to provide support. That's the technical side. I also believe that there is something that goes to along with the technical side is the customer service. There are certificates, especially the Help Desk Institute has a customer service certification that you can take classes, you could get the exam, and also get that certification. So you have your IT technical skills, and then you have the customer service, skills that you need to start your new journey in providing support.
I know that I constantly see the email announcements of different staff members who have achieved some level of certification or passed a new test or gotten to a new tier. And you mentioned earlier that one of your things that you do is mentoring. So I wanted you to talk a little bit about how does mentoring work at Community IT, if you could.
Mentoring at Community IT is, based on individual. You would work and assess each individual, what their need is. Is there a training they need? In terms of, areas, one person could be needing certain training, another person could be certain training. So you just have to work, start where they are and go from there, have a plan. And we also have, something called skill assessment, a tool that we use. And based on that skill assessment, we're able to identify the areas each individual needs to be focused on. And we will find the training or work in general, find someone who could provide the training within Community IT. And also there are informal trainings also in Community IT that happens a lot, honestly. We have a process called live escalation, for example, which, certain people can post the question, technical question. The engineers that are in the list would respond. That also, like in terms of technical mentoring, that is kind of like informal mentoring. It's not like, the list that we have, we go through, we sit down with staff. So that there is the informal and the formal process that we have, and we guide them, go through the process of finding shadowing opportunity for the areas they need, finding them someone who can actually help them do the training. So that is how the mentoring works at Community IT.
I've been really impressed through this series of interviews to learn more about how supportive Community IT is. There's teams, and then there's always a lot of mentoring and shadowing. And I think a couple of people have mentioned that when they first started at Community IT, maybe they were a little doubtful of their abilities to answer every question that a client who's having trouble might ask them. And so it's really been interesting to learn how Community IT internally is structured to support new employees and make sure that the clients have the level of expertise that they need, so that we're always, bringing the new employees improving their skills, improving their technical skills, and also their customer service skills, as you mentioned. So outside of Community IT, if maybe someone is at a different organization that's not so supportive, do you have any advice on finding mentors, or what advice would you give someone who's maybe not as supported and looking to find someone who could mentor them in, IT technology?
So for finding support, there are organizations, and the ones I know generally in DC metropolitan area. However, there are organizations, I'm sure there are many places that help was IT career development. And that's, I find those organizations, they're nonprofit organizations, I find those organizations be very helpful in that sense to help even changing career, providing technical skills. So that's one place I would go find out what's in your area. Not nonprofit, especially that focuses on like helping bring up your IT interest, need, and support you to grow. That's one area. I also find a lot of groups in LinkedIn. There are so many groups in LinkedIn. I would recommend joining those groups, learning what the groups are and maybe asking and posting questions there. Um, the other thing I would say is talk to people, really. Talk to family member by talking and finding out more information. That's how we find mentor. That's how we find coaching, and that's and then through coaching, through mentoring is where you find the support you need and to grow in the profession in general. In general, also like it doesn't have to be IT, but we're talking about IT here, so.
I think someone said that to me pretty early in my career too. People can't help you if they don't know that you're looking for help. As soon as you, and I think a lot of people appreciate being reached out to, it's kind of flattering if somebody that you don't really even know on LinkedIn is like, hey, you seem like you've been posting a lot about this topic. I'm really interested in it. Could you tell me more about it? People are often very willing to share their knowledge and their experiences. Were you always interested in technology?
Mm-hmm. Good question. So before community IT, before coming to America, I was working as a drafts person, which is basically you would work with civil engineers and engineers. It's a floor plan. So I graduated as a drafts person, and I was working in potentially getting a civil engineering degree back home. So that was the plan. Then when I came to America, I was working at in Ethiopian Community Development Council, just to start with my life, basically. And somehow I was a receptionist there, and there was a dial-up time. I don't know how I ended up in IT, honestly. So just started helping people, and printers not working, and just that's how my IT profession started. The Ethiopian Community Development used to still resettle refugees, and somehow I became part of the refugee settlement program, and I was processing refugee paper, and I realized I was taking classes, and we need a better system for not paper. So ended up building access database. So that's how my IT profession started, and I find it nice and rewarding, and also like working with people. Like, oh, what's broken? And you get to talk to people. Oh, this is how we can fix it, and problem solving. Hey, there's a problem IT related. Let's figure it out. Let me see if I can help. So my interest. That's how my interest in IT started.
And you said that you came from back home and worked with the Ethiopian refugee settlement program. So how did you end up in Washington, D.C.? Do you mind telling me the story?
Sure. I don't know if you're familiar with diversity visa. It's a DD was a lottery for immigrants, and the general idea of the diversity visa was to diversify the immigrant population in the United States, and the idea is where there are low the countries that have low immigrants in the US, they were part of the diversity visa. And I think it was started in 1990. I'm not 100%, but I do know that the first immigrant through the diversity visa came to America in 95. And my father filled out the form for all of my siblings. And I won the diversity visa in 1996 when I came to US. And I was the second diversity visa batch, I think. Then, so you basically get green card and basically work because of that. So that's how I ended up in the US. Interesting.
Did you get to choose Washington, D.C., or were you placed there? How did that work?
Usually you find a sponsor. So the process, you apply. Once you apply, you get selected. And then once you get selected, you just, you have to find a sponsor. So I had a family here, and that's how I ended up in DC. Yeah.
Well, we are so happy to have you, Saba, and thank you so much for talking with me today. I learned a lot, and it was really wonderful just talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline, and peace. And I enjoyed listening to this voice videos. You do great. You do a great job.
Thank you.
Community IT does these free webinars and podcasts for our community, and we love sharing our knowledge and experience. If you have more questions or are having trouble with your IT at your nonprofit, please get in touch with us on our website, www.communityit.com, so we can start a conversation or schedule an assessment. Downloading any of our free resources there will get you signed up for our webinar reminders, and you can attend our next webinar in real time and ask our experts your own questions. If you love podcasts, please subscribe and leave us a rating to help others find this leadership resource for nonprofits.